Hello, trading has closed on December 27th, 2023. We'll do our disclaimer, go over our calls, make some predictions. It's my trading plan for Thursday, which is December 28th, 2023. Just remember, my calls can be wrong. Please trade at your own risk. We looked for the pattern today with the early high, which is this. Tomorrow should have the early low. I didn't have a clear signal. I said it wouldn't surprise me if we closed a little change, but I wasn't going to call it. We actually did close a little change. In fact, within the last 5 minutes of trading, we were unchanged, but I said I wasn't going to call it, so I get no credit. And this is just a reminder of what we said. Tomorrow has really low, looking for a top in this area. We did hit a new high, but couldn't close over any of these intraday highs, and that's not particularly good. During the day, MEJT said this drop is false. Retraced, got an ultimate sell signal here that's printed. Now says this drop is false. We're going to overtake this high. I'm not so certain that one's going to work. We typically leave a failed target at major changes in trend, and we don't know if this is a major change in trend yet or not, but it certainly has all the prerequisites if we do drop. And we have a wall into the close, and often that's followed by gapping down smartly when we open. We won't know if that happens till tomorrow, but if we do gap down smartly, this number stays on the table, but not the time. Today printed bar number 13 of a sequential sell signal from Tom DeMark. It's in alignment with a combo sell. These are strong signals in his work. I'm just going to tell you they identify areas of tops, not exact tops, and they aren't as unfailingly reliable as I would like. They do fail, but it's a sign by his work that we're overextended. By Friday, we should complete bar 9 of a DeMark sequential setup. Often bar 9 is the last before we start correcting. Not a requirement, but it happens often. We're still making a rising wedge. This thing really should break it sometime, and hugging the lower end of the wedge typically means it's just a matter of time until we break through. We also have RSI, which is being overextended. If you go back over a period of years, you'll see this isn't an exact indicator, but it tends to be overextended at highs and overextended on the downside at lows. And speaking of going back a ways, let's take a look at this line starting from this high. But we have a direct hit here. We have a direct hit here. And we have a direct hit way back at the 2020 top almost 4 years ago, and awfully close to a Gann fan 1x1 resistance area. I mean, you can see these targets are hitting, and that's pretty darn close, within under 1%. It'd be nice if you could find some way to count this rally. I don't think anything's guaranteed, but we had this big volume drop last week. Since then, we've had an overcorrecting and overlapping low volume correction. And if that's A and that's B, all we need is to find some place for C. Well, at today's top, C is equal to A. And if you measure this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of C, you can set that at 61.8. you'll get 100% right there. And you'll see it's 38.2% of 3. So at this point, you've got balance of the waves in wave C. I mean, there's your C equals A right at the top. You can count this as an ending diagonal triangle. You only see one wave here and not 3, but if you go to a 1 minute chart, you'll see 3. If that's the right count, and there's a wall into the close and an ending diagonal triangle, if that count's right, you're going to know by the open. Because if that's the right count, we're going to drop possibly like a stone right from the open. And if we do drop right from the open, it would give credence to this count, which says we're going to make wave black C. It should be a good friend of wave black A, which was quite a dive. So Thursday's pattern is really low, regardless of where we open. Typically, it's a rally day with a high in the final hour. But if it's weak, and we're saying that's a possibility, then more weakness should follow in subsequent days. Now, there is a higher MEJT target. Don't forget, the system leaves targets at major changes in trend. If we don't gap down smartly, the rules say it's going to print. But we may have made a top today, and if it is a top, that's not going to print. The DeMark indicators, sentiment indicators, trend lines, the wave count, all are compatible with a drop starting in this area. And it could have been a high made today. Because of seasonal bullishness, there may be a delay. But if we drop sharply right from the open, it would be credible to get follow through. I think as far as indicators go, we have all we need. And the one thing working against us is the calendar. Now, if we did go a little bit higher, I don't think it would change anything. We'd have to go quite a lot higher for me to change my opinion on this. But this is a possible top. This is a possible top right here. And if it is, I think there's a good chance we'll gap under this low. And if we don't, I don't think you have to risk any money on it. So it's the pattern with the early low. It's a seasonally bullish time, but I see a lot of negative stuff here. And that's today's call.